Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our final session of the Central PA Career Fair today. For those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Porter, and I'm the Education Coordinator for the Central PA Chamber of Commerce. We're very happy to be here today with some STEM and STEAM education opportunities within our local communities. And there's really some eye-opening opportunities that our region really holds for us that many of us may not know about. So without further ado, I will go ahead and introduce our first speaker. Her name is Dr. Kim Bolig, and she's with Bloomsburg University.
Good afternoon. I'm going to try to share my screen here. Hold on one second. Is it sharing?
Yes,
doing what I hate.
I can see just the general PowerPoint part, it's not in the presentation mode, but it's there.
And it's doing what it's not supposed to do. There we go. Got it. All right.
Okay.
And do you see that other thing in the middle there? Or?
I only see why STEM
There we go.
Education Magnet.
Got it. All right. Sorry. Technology and STEAM should be my expertise area, but sometimes my laptop likes to make fun of me. So I'm from the College of Education over at Bloomsburg University, and I'm really excited to talk to you a little bit about our STEM and Education Magnet programs that we offer. We've been doing this for I think it's 8 years now, 7 years that I've been involved with it. And we have an opportunity for students who are sophomores going into their junior year to consider coming into our programs. Why would you want to consider coming into our programs? Well, you would get to take college courses while you're still staying in high school. And you could be in with a cohort of 17 other schools. I know Warrior Run, I understand, is online right now. And right now we have actually 3 students from Warrior Run who are participating in these. 2 are in the STEM Magnet, 1 in the Education Magnet. But you get to also work with students in other schools, Milton, you get to work with Millville, Salisgrove, I'm sorry, not Salisgrove, Bloomsburg, Central is what I was trying to say, Southern, there's a lot of schools. So you can have up to 30 credits for college before you even hit your freshman year. 30 credits is considered a entire freshman year of credits. But one of the things that I'd like to say is, I always say, make sure that if you are thinking about doing this and you're going into the STEM field, STEM courses in college are really hard. And a lot of times when you go into a STEM major in college, you will be taking about 18 credits a semester. Normally 12 to 15 is a good average. So you're taking more credits. Going into, yes, you could go into the STEM courses with these credits and say, oh, I'm skipping a whole year. But what's even better is using these credits to pad your year, at least the first year, so you're not overwhelmed, so that you have these credits in your back pocket, and you can take with 15 credits and be comfortable starting college. Education Magnet, though, if you're thinking of going into education, a lot of times they've skipped 1 whole year going through this program. You have an opportunity, but it's more than just taking classes. We all know about ACE, and ACE is where you come, take classes, and leave. This is an opportunity to also work with professionals in the school, in the fields that you're going into, to get some workshops to prepare for college and career. You get a chance to be accepted into Bloom upon completion of the program. You can also have your application fee waived, and you can actually have scholarships for when you're in these programs and afterwards. So there's a lot of opportunities in this. I'm just trying to go here. In the STEM Magnet program, we have different tracks. So you can come in as an engineering track, a health science track, technology track, chemistry track, and our brand new one is environmental science. So if you are really interested in environmental science, this is a great way to actually get in, and this track you can definitely, and chemistry too, you could definitely finish in 3 years if you come to Bloom afterwards. For our Education Magnet, you come in and you do a general education, so that later on if you want to go into elementary, secondary, mid-level, special ed, All of these would be part that you could get into from that. Requirements to apply for the STEM Magnet program: you have to be a current sophomore that has Algebra 1, 2, and Geometry, 2 years of science, a recommendation from a science or math teacher or your guidance counselor. And although we love those guidance counselors, I saw Nicole was on here. We love you guys a lot, but we also know that the teachers know better whether you are ready for these college level classes. So we prefer those, but we will take a guidance counselor recommendation also. We also ask for a minimum of a 95% attendance record. The reason we ask for this is college courses are very difficult. So if you are coming in and you're the kind of person who, you don't always go to class, these probably aren't for you. So that's why we ask for that. If you are looking at the education magnet, and as I said earlier this morning, education is booming. We know we need teachers, especially STEM teachers. So if you're thinking, I like science, math, but I like to teach too, boy, we could really use you. So if you are interested in the education magnet, again, a current sophomore with 2 years of math with a B grade or better, and 2 years of an English language art with a B or better, a teacher guidance recommendation, and again, the 95% attendance rate. To apply for a program, there's an application at bloomu.edu/STEM. It's online. You go out, you fill out the application. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your distinctions, your honors, whether you've been on the honor roll for the last 2 years, anything like that. And then we do ask for a minimum of a 150-word essay because we really want to know about you. You need your high school transcript, does not need to be official. And then, of course, the recommendation, which I mentioned, and that's online for your teacher or guidance counselor to complete. There's also a financial aid application. So if you can't afford the courses, which you do get a 75% discount rate on, even if you can't afford that, we do have some financial aid available to help you with it. Here's just a sample if you are interested in any of these tracks. These are some of the courses you could be taking if you were going into the engineering, the health science, or the technology track. So it kind of gives you a feel of what kind of courses you would be taking. I also want to mention with our magnet programs, unlike ACE, we have seats set by our departments to keep seats for you. So you do get into these courses, which a lot of others do not get into. With ACE, what they do is when there's empty courses after everybody's scheduled, then you get into the courses. So you can see that these are ones that we pretty much can tell you you'll be taking if you're going in these tracks. If you're interested in chemistry or environmental science, this gives you another example of the sample courses you would be taking while you're in these tracks. If it's education you're interested in, you think you want to teach, there are some what we do is we give you one education foundation course and one general ed course while you're in the education magnet track. So each semester you would take, for example, the ones this semester are taking Introduction to Individuals with Exceptionality and also Intro to Statistics. So you would be doing that if you would go into education magnet. Our deadline to apply is April 15th every year. We feel that's a deadline that a lot of people are familiar with. So we try to keep it at April 15th every year. If you are interested though, and have a lot more questions, because I just gave you about an hour's worth of information in this very short time. So if you have any questions or interested in this, contact me. I will put my email in the chat, but your guidance counselors usually know my email too, so you could talk to them about the program, get more information from them. We have flyers we usually send out to all the schools, and you can ask for one of those and have a chance to learn more about the programs, or just contact me. I'm always happy to talk about it. All right, thank you.
And thank you, Kim. I said there are definitely a lot of great opportunities there through the Bloomsburg STEM program, and we're very lucky to be able to have that within our community and have you to be able to talk to us about those today. Our second guest that will be speaking today is Genie Bausinger of Milton Regional Sewer Authority, or MRSA.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, like Michael said, my name is Genie Bausinger. I am the executive director here at the Milton Regional Sewer Authority. The Milton Regional Sewer Authority, we are a sewer treatment plant and collection system facility which services about 4,500 customers in 6 municipalities in Upper Northumberland County. If you're not familiar with wastewater or what a wastewater plant does, wastewater is any water, liquids, anything that goes down the drain in homes and businesses that are connected to our system. So it's not just toilet water. It's also, if you take a shower, that water comes to us. If you wash dishes, you do your laundry, have a dishwasher, anything like that, we receive that waste through a collection system, which is an underground network of pipes that take the wastewater from your homes, businesses, schools, and transports it to our treatment plant, where we process it through many different treatment technologies and remove things like solids, nutrients, metals, and bacteria before it's discharged to a receiving stream, which in our case is the West Branch of the Susquehanna River. I know wastewater may not be something that a lot of people think of as a career option, but there's lots of opportunities in many different areas of interest and at all different education levels. Our facility specifically, we have 16 full-time employees. We have operations staff who are the employees who are out in the plant, observing the wastewater as it comes in, observing all of the different treatment processes, maintaining all the equipment that is involved in those treatment processes. We have laboratory technicians who test the wastewater to make sure that it is being treated properly throughout the processes before it's discharged to the Susquehanna River. We definitely want to make sure that we're removing everything from the wastewater that we are supposed to be removing before it gets discharged, for not only to keep the river clean, but for public health as well. We also have billing clerks who send out our monthly bills and receive those payments every month. They're also our customer service. When you call into the plant, you'll likely talk to one of our billing clerks first. And we also utilize a lot of electronics and computer equipment in all of those positions. So our billing clerks, the billing is done electronically. Our laboratory technicians have a lot of equipment that is utilized, and all of our data is entered on computers. Our trending to make sure the plant is operating properly, all that is computer related. And we also have what's called a SCADA system that allows us to not only operate the plant, but also we can monitor it remotely from home. So we don't have to work 24/7. We don't have to have an employee at the plant around the clock, but the plant is connected to the SCADA system. So if a piece of equipment goes down, I can log in on my phone. Several of our employees can log in on our phone and just remotely see what's going on. It can tell us, if a piece of equipment is down, we can log into our phone and we can switch to another piece of equipment, or we know, hey, this one's really important. We better call somebody in and get down there and get something fixed or switch to something else or get that resolved. And we can just log in and make sure, yep, everything looks good and I can go to sleep at night. And like I said earlier, there's all levels of education. Everyone here is required to have a high school diploma, but beyond that, like Dr. Bolig had said, that environmental science track, that would be perfect for anyone interested in the wastewater field. Some of our operations staff does have 2-year environmental science degrees. Our laboratory staff is required to have a 4-year science-related degree. And our billing clerks, we prefer them to have some accounting knowledge and background. But ultimately, we're just looking for employees who really have a willingness to learn. I've been in wastewater for 15 years, and there's something new every day, and technologies are always changing. So we got to stay up on all of that interesting and new technologies coming up. Wastewater treatment plants, they tend to be pretty good places to work. Every town typically has one. but they do offer pretty good wages and benefits, very steady employment. Even in a down economy, people still need to go to the bathroom and take showers and, wash dishes and cook. So they tend to be places where when people get into the industry, a lot of people stick around for quite a while. And even in our staff of only 16, we have 6 employees who have been working here for more than 10 years, and 2 of which are over 30-year employees. So they are good places to work, and people who are lucky enough to get into those facilities tend to stay for quite a while. So in the past, they have been more difficult. There's not a lot of job openings. However, a lot of employees are looking to retire, and that's statewide. There's a lot of employees that are going to be retiring coming up. The average age of a wastewater treatment plant operator is approaching 60 years old. So in the next several years, there's going to be quite a few openings throughout the state and region, really, for wastewater employees. And like I said, there's a lot of different opportunities. If you're someone who's more interested in big city living, there's wastewater treatment plants in big cities, and there the pay is generally higher because you're in a bigger city. But generally industry-wide, starting salaries vary depending on your position or the location of the plant, but they're generally quite good. And yeah, like I said, big cities, little cities, they're all over the place. So anywhere you might be interested in living in, there's most likely a wastewater treatment plant not too far away. And with that, I thank you guys for your time, and I look forward to any questions you might have later.
All right. Well, thank you, Genie. And may I also say that they have put on some great tours for the Central PA Chamber in the past. It's very interesting to see all the different working components of their facility, and just the intricacies of everything. On top of that, they find some cool stuff and some of the stuff that gets flushed occasionally. So that was kind of fun stories that we got. And then on top of that, they also show you just how bad certain things can be for your septic systems, and how that you should really only flush toilet paper. So
yes, thank you, Michael. Yes, absolutely. The 3 Ps: pee, poop, paper. That's it.
That's right. So, but thank you again, and yeah, stick around, and we'll see if we have some questions at the end of it.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. All right. And our next presenter is Ian Duffy, and he is from United States Gypsum.
All righty. Let's get this going. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. As you said, I'm Ian Duffy. Also with me is Elizabeth Partridge. We work for United States Gypsum Company, and we're going to talk to you about some engineering opportunities in the manufacturing areas. If this would go forward. All right, so a little bit about USG. We're a leading manufacturer of building products and innovative solutions. There's a worldwide footprint for our products. We've been around for over 115 years and have really made leaps and bounds within this industry for producing products and systems that are safer, lighter, stronger, and more sustainable. A little bit about the business in North America. We were founded in 1902. We're headquartered in Chicago, Illinois. We have about 7,300 employees in both Canada, US, and also in Mexico. And we also have 51 manufacturing plants around North America. Some awards that we've gotten, we have a great partnership with Home Depot. If you go into Home Depot and you look around in the wallboard area or joint treatment compounds, you'll see USG products. So we've been Supplier of the Year with them 4 times now. We also received the National Safety Council's Robert Campbell Award in 2016, and that's just for outstanding safety leadership in the industry.
So something that USG takes great pride in is that safety is our #1 priority. We train all of our employees, provide them with all the proper protection, and make sure that they have the confidence to do their job safely. We truly believe that no job is that important where it can't be done safely. So that's something that not only do we talk about every day, but we actually practice and enforce. And as Ian mentioned, we won the Robert Campbell Award, which is one of the highest safety awards that you can achieve. So USG is divided into 2 divisions. Our Gypsum division, which produces wallboard, surfaces, building envelope, structural, and underlay. Here at Washingtonville, we produce wallboard. But another division is our ceilings division, and that produces tile and grid, ensemble, and specialty ceilings and ceilings and plus. So I have been with USG for about a year and a half now. I graduated from Virginia Tech. I studied chemical engineering. Something that I really enjoyed about working for USG right from the get-go is they give you the freedom and encourage you to ask questions, learn about the process, and kind of, if you see a project, you take it and run with it. So my main focus is capital projects. And so that could be improving or maintaining any of our process equipment, improving our process, or a project that could help our plant save money. So from that, we developed the project from the start, received quotes, and stick with the project throughout the whole start to end and execute it. So it's pretty rewarding. And of course, you work on a team with everything, and it really gives you the flexibility to see where you want to go with your career, especially just starting fresh out of college. Something that I also do is I manage contracts and contractors for this project specifically. And again, no 2 days are the same, so it's always a fun day. Keeps you busy, and it's definitely satisfying work. Now I'll hand it over to Ian.
All right. So I've been with USG for 3.5 years. I also graduated from Virginia Tech, also with chemical engineering degree. I started with Elizabeth's position as a project engineer and was promoted to plant engineer. My role here is very similar to hers. It's a lot of project work. Like she said, seeing things from start to finish. Some of the projects I've been involved in include heavy construction projects, so civil construction around the plant, building new roadways, parking lots, buildings. I've also been involved with some process equipment upgrades, including installing conveyors around the plant, installing new valves and material handling equipment. I've also even been involved with new product development. We had a project a couple years ago to make a new type of drywall on our production line, and I was kind of the plant contact for that, dealing with a lot of our corporate engineers to get that installed. Finally, I've also been involved with automation projects. One that we have going on right now is to incorporate automated forklifts in our plant. So basically forklifts that'll drive themselves around the warehouse and the plant, pick up material, drop it off where it needs to go. Really a lot of cool opportunities and stuff that I didn't really think I was going to be doing when I was going to school as an engineer, but it's really exciting to me to be able to do something new every day. The new project that comes my way is kind of going to be a surprise, but I really like getting my hands dirty and looking into new projects like that. So as a project engineer in USG, you kind of are the basis for a lot of our positions higher up in the company, whether that's at the plant level or at the corporate level. So this kind of lays out a general career path for project engineers. And I think kind of the interesting thing is that even up to our vice presidents and directors in corporate, they've got engineering degrees. We really value the background of engineering to those positions.
So something USG offers is a co-op program. It's essentially what Ian and I do on a daily basis, but it's meant for college students who are in STEM majors, especially in engineering. It's longer than an internship. It's about for 7 months total, and you get the full exposure and experience of working in a manufacturing plant. It's incredible for your resume and seeing what you are learning about in class in everyday life. So something you'd be involved in if you were a co-op here is things like Ian and I were mentioning, which are capital projects. You would improve our process and learn more about our process. In addition to that, you'd spend real money. You get the freedom to develop a project and also manage contractors. So it's a great experience overall. You learn more about safety, and it gives you more experience for when you're ready to enter the working field. I'm not sure if Ian wants to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. Co-op experience is something that employers are really looking for now. When you are graduating college with your engineering degree or other STEM degree. So being able to take a couple months off of your school year to go work for a employer not only provides you with good experience, but it also kind of gets your foot in the door with a good employer that they know what you're like, they've worked with you before, and so when you come out of school, you have pretty good odds usually of getting a position with that employer. And it's not like these are internships where you're kind of doing work for free or almost. You get paid, and you get paid well for jobs like this. And like Elizabeth said, you get to really work on projects, and they trust you with a lot of responsibility. Here at Washingtonville, we've had, I think, 3 or 4 co-ops since I've been here. We don't have one currently, but we're actually looking to hire one right now. So they do rotate through a lot, and there's a lot of good opportunities. And with that, that's the end of the presentation. Thanks for your time, and we'll be happy to answer questions at the end.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ian and Elizabeth. There's a lot of great opportunities there, and it was great to have during your presentation one of our board of directors and treasurer, Cheryl, looked like she jumped in during your presentation too to see how you guys are doing, and I must say it was a good job. So thank you. And at this time, I'll go ahead and introduce from Penn's Cave and Wildlife, Terri.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Penn's Cave and Wildlife Park, as many of you may know, is a tourist attraction. We're actually considered to be an agritourism attraction located in Center County, about 30 minutes outside of State College. We've been in operation as a commercial show cave since 1885, so this is our 135th year. We offer 2 different tours, activities, and we are currently seeking some new team members for our 2021 season. We offer paid internships as well as part-time seasonal and full-time seasonal employment. Primarily, we're currently seeking new team members to serve guides and educators. We're very fortunate that we get to see a diverse group of people. It appeals to all ages, all walks of life. We get to see multi-generations, and it's something that, especially for this year being so unique, we've been seeing many families and large families coming because they are looking for something safe and fun to do, but also something especially for younger people. So this has always been our mission, to educate as well as entertain. And so we have the 2 separate tours, as I mentioned, the all-water cave tour. We also have the farm nature wildlife tour. One thing people don't realize about Penn's Cave is that we are still a working farm operation. We actually grow the crops that feed some of our animals that we have on the farm in the wildlife park. Those animals we actually feature in our cafe. We raise bison and Texas Longhorn cattle, and we feature those burgers in our cave cafe. So for those of you that are looking for a unique experience, it's perfect for anyone who's looking to build their communications. As a tour guide educator, you do have to obviously speak well and communicate effectively to different people. And we've had a number of people in different majors in school. A gap job, if you're in between or not really sure what you want to do, this is a great place to work. And our primary season is summertime, so the positions that we will have available will begin running through March, April, May, June, July, August, into September. And then there's some people that are looking to do some additional work in the fall, and so we would have opportunities there as well. So I'll be happy to take any questions from anyone if you'd like, and if you're interested, please go to our social media and our website, which is pennscave.com. By the way, all pictures that are listed on our website and our social media sites are of our animals and of our cave. We don't Photoshop anything in, so what you see is really a great representation of what we have here.
That's great. Terri, if you don't mind, can you repeat your website address again, just in case it cut out?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I apologize because out here in rural Center County, in fact, I almost wasn't even able to make it on today, because they're just really thankful we even have internet out here. And sometimes people will say to us, you know, what are you doing all the way out here? We really had no decision or choice as to where the cave was formed.
That's right.
And again, sometimes technology isn't the best out in our area. So the website is Penn's Cave, and that's PENNSCAVE.com.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that they heard what that was for sure, in case they wanted to check it out.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and like you mentioned about questions, at this time I would like to go ahead and open it up for questions, not only for yourself, but for everybody else from any of our students that are participating. They can do so either by unmuting themselves and speaking, or they may participate by just typing it into our chat, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Who's first?
Let's see. All right. So, environmental science seems like a key aspect throughout many of your all's positions for sure. What kind of what do you all do personally, like with your companies, to help impact the environment from your particular roles?
That's a great question, actually. And as far as majors or interests are concerned, very wide range. We've had people in environmental science, geology, animal science, biology, engineering. In fact, we have 2 team members right now who are currently engineering majors at Penn State. We've had a lot of education majors. This is a great position for people that are looking to get into teaching. Actually, we have 2 teachers who are on our team that work in the summer, obviously during school, but actually work on weekend. Full-time teacher in the State College School District. Another teaches in another county school district and works here in the summertime. As far as what we do to impact the environment, you know, we obviously are mindful stewards of our cave because it is a natural treasure. It wasn't man-made, and that's one of the many awesome things about it. So obviously we're concerned. In recent times, we have been converting our motorboat engines to electric power. And although sometimes, even though those have worked out very well, it's not this year because we didn't have a lot of rain, but times during rainier seasons, when the water level's a little higher, powered engines, but now 4 out of our 5 tour boats have been converted to electric. As far as the outdoor environment, not within the cave, again, you know, the farmland is so important to us. Agriculture is the #1 industry in Pennsylvania, and so we are very, very and considered to be an agritourism destination. And we were given the Century Farm Award back in 2008. And so we try to showcase this side of it too. People that, especially people that travel from the city, don't really have a great understanding of what agriculture consists of and the importance of it. Some people think, you know, wow, okay, I go to the grocery store and the food is just there. You know, where does it come from? So this, again, we try to communicate and convey to our visitors. So it all works together. Oftentimes we'll cross-train team members if they're interested. We have some animal science majors who also can work as cave tour educators as well. So again, there's a balance here, and it's all about just preserving these wonderful natural resources that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Kim, would you like to say anything about some of the programs that you offer?
I would, thank you. And do you mind if I share my screen one more time? Because
that's fine.
I have some great photos about our environmental science. If I can get this to share. Hold on. For us, there's different, y'all can see that, I hope, right?
You're at the back end of it.
I can't see anything now, Kim. I did for a moment.
No. Okay, hold on. There. Okay, so we have 15 faculty in our environmental science area and 200 in the major, but they do 3 different areas. Our first area is the soils. Obviously, everybody's pretty much familiar with soils, and that's a big area for us that you can concentrate in. But you can also concentrate in hydrology, which you were just talking about with Penn's Cave. So you can concentrate in the hydrology area, and then an area that a lot of people might not be familiar with is our geographic information systems. And that gives you an idea of working in that area in environmental science. So if you're interested in coming into environmental science, you could dabble in each of those, but really concentrate in one of those areas.
Yeah, that's great.
It is. We actually have a team member, Kim, who is a student at Bloomsburg University.
Good.
She's worked with us now for 2 summer seasons and not remain on campus because of COVID, because everything went online. So she's back in Center County, and she's working now weekends here too while she's taking full-time classes during the week.
Great.
All right, Genie, would you have any input?
Yeah, so I kind of touched on some of our environmental impact as a sewer authority, but our biggest goal is to take the wastewater that comes in and treat it to the efficiency that we need to, and we are permitted by the Department of Environmental Protection on what we're allowed to discharge to the Susquehanna River. So in all that operation of the treatment plant and all the testing that we do in the laboratories, we're making sure that what we do discharge to the Susquehanna River is not only good for the fish and the turtles and the frogs that live in that environment, but downstream that is pulled in as a drinking water source downstream. So we need to make sure that we're removing the bacteria, we're removing those metals, we're removing any of those hazardous things that may come through and disrupt the ecological system in a river. And we're a little different than some plants where we receive a lot of waste from the ConAgra food processing facility. Their waste, while it's a food and it's something that you wouldn't think of as bad for the environment or bad for the river, we eat it. So it shouldn't be bad. But if you have too much, if you think about it, if you dump a can of spaghetti sauce in a glass of water, it makes it dirty. So we do need to clean that up. But with getting that waste, we're able to take that into a specific treatment process called an anaerobic treatment process. And that generates a biogas, which is about 80% methane, which we've been able to clean that gas up a little better and run it through generators to generate electricity that we're able to sell back to the grid. So we've had that impact on our environment locally. Not every treatment plant is able to do that, but since we receive so much waste from the ConAgra facility, we're able to make that biogas. We are also looking at ways to utilize it in a different way, maybe even going back to sending it to natural gas pipelines. There's also opportunity to possibly turn it into a compressed natural gas for vehicle fueling. So we're continuing to evaluate those options. And also, I touched on it with public health, and I'm sure you've heard about it in the news with COVID-19 about making sure we are disinfecting our wastewater appropriately to make sure that should COVID-19 be present in the wastewater, it's being disinfected before it's being discharged. Before 1955, all the waste in Milton went directly to the river. So when the plants were built in 1955, we started seeing decreases in the river contamination, as well as public health improved. Diseases like typhoid and dysentery and things like that. Polio, I believe, was water transmissible. Things like that are being cleaned up by wastewater plants, and we continue to maintain that cleanliness.
Well, that's great, Genie, and thank you. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier about the relationship of ConAgra there, and from the tour that we'd had and how you spoke about how that worked. So I'm glad you were able to include that. And Ian, if you have anything, we have about 3 more minutes. I don't know if there's anything particular that USG does as far as controlling their environmental impact or anything like that. You're welcome to share that.
Sure, yeah. There's actually a lot of what goes into making drywall here has an impact environmentally. One of the biggest things is that almost all of our materials that go into the drywall are actually recycled. So the paper that makes either side of the board, that's reprocessed paper at one of our paper mills. It's all recycled paper, post-consumer. And then the gypsum itself that goes into it actually comes from coal power plants. That's kind of a desulfurization process of the coal burning. They are able to turn that into gypsum, and that's all the stuff that we use to make our drywall here.
That's awesome.
Also, we don't discharge any of our processed water. It's either exhausted as steam in the process itself, or we recycle it and use it and reuse it in the process. And then, of course, Elizabeth and I, doing projects and doing construction on site, we've got to be aware of the state environmental regulations. So we're extra careful to abide by all permitting processes. We work with the local DEP offices to make sure that we're staying in compliance.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you to all of our presenters for coming to speak with us today. Thank you to all of our students for sticking with us throughout the day and participating in all of our different segments. And this is the conclusion of our STEM and STEAM segment. So I want to thank everyone again for joining us, and hopefully see them all again, and hope they have a great rest of their day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.